Yeah. Pro Fan Sports Podcast. Let's get it. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam. Sean on the mic, very flat too. Keep you updated, that's what we do. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Pro fans, tune into the program. Every single week, get the dope, fam.
Yo, what to do, everybody? It's your boy John Altidor with Pro Fan Sports Podcast, where the fans of the pros go back at you with my boys Vlad and Barry. What's good, fellas?
What's up?
Hey, what's up, everybody? How we doing? We're here. Excited as always for another episode. We are on to episode 51. So now we're in the 50s, guys. We made it past 50, so it's like, now what's the next big number? 100 or 75?
Well, I hear people looking for 75, so I guess we're gonna do it in 25 increments, I guess. So the next will be 25, but episode 50 was pretty big though, you know.
Yes,
so
that was huge. That was awesome.
Yeah, man. So shout outs to Mikey Domagala from NBA Buzz once again, you know, for coming on and doing all he did on his platform for us. So I know a lot of people watch that too, so we appreciate those people. But episode 51, call it the Gerard Mayo
episode. Yep, Jared Mayo. Definitely. So I'm gonna just name a few 51s because you know want to definitely keep this thing going. So we got Dick Butkus. Yeah,
old time linebacker,
right,
man.
Yeah, one of the best linebackers to play of all time. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So we got him. Got Randy Johnson, the big unit pitcher.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
MLB pitcher, Hall of Famer.
The Bird Killer.
Yeah, exactly. He got another nickname.
You seen that, Vlad? What I'm talking about?
I haven't.
So Randy Johnson was like in the middle of a pitch, and he wind up and he threw the pitch, and literally, as the pitch is hitting, like getting close to, you know, the batter in the mitts or whatever, this bird flies right in front of him. Bow! It was like he was aiming for the bird.
Killed the bird.
Right.
I'm pretty sure that bird. That bird is dead.
Definitely. Oh yeah, no, it died. If it's a Randy Johnson fastball hitting the bird, oh, you best believe that thing's gonna be dead in a heartbeat.
That dude was averaging like 90 miles per hour on like every pitch, at least 90.
Right, like even
on a
like
fastball though. That's 99 to 100,
close to 100. Exactly. Right. That was cracking 100 right there. It was
a dove too. He killed that.
Oh yeah, man. I know it was. That was crazy. I seen that video and yeah, I was just blown away by it completely. That was unreal. Never seen anything like that before. And
who else you got?
So yeah, we got, speaking of baseball, another one of the greats, Ichiro Suzuki.
Yeah, Ichiro. Is he still playing? He probably somewhere still playing.
Nah, he retired.
Boy. Yeah, even from overseas too?
Yeah.
Because I know he was out there for a minute.
Yeah. He retired from both Japan and MLB. He played for a while into his 40s, I think.
Is he a Hall of Famer?
Yeah, absolutely. Without question.
So too.
No doubt. Japanese and MLB Hall of Fame. First ballot, without a doubt.
Hands down.
So got him, got Bernie Williams, Tremont Williams from the Celtics. And,
Tremont.
Tremont Williams.
Never get Vern Waters.
That's true, but he was at least G League Rookie of the Year last year.
MVP.
So, right, exactly. So we'll at least give him that. But you're right, getting just no run on the Celtics team for sure, particularly once Marcus Smart comes back. And we got a Juwan Bentley.
Yes, the linebacker who can't stop nobody.
Right.
No offense. I like that guy, but
he
was a leaky faucet last year. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like everybody was getting by. I'm like, dude.
Or it's like my boy B-Dog says, he couldn't fight his way through a wet paper bag.
For real, man.
Yeah. But that was terrible. But I mean, hopefully he has a better season next year. You know, I'm sure we'll be getting some help with the linebackers, you know, with Hightower coming back. So that'll take
Yep.
less pressure off of him.
For sure, man. So we're on episode 51. So, you know, before we start, please make sure you are pressing the subscribe button, that notification button. Make sure you're commenting. Hate, like, subscribe. That's the way, you know what I'm saying? You can hate, you can like it, whatever, man. We'll take it all. Make sure you're sharing this content, you know, to as many people as you can, because that helps the channel grow. And we're going to keep coming back here on a consistent basis. All right. So the episodes drop every Tuesday. And the videos drop every Wednesday on YouTube. So be clear on that. We're on social media. We're all over social media. Instagram popping. Instagram is profans_sports. You know, it's one of the best sports platforms on there. So you won't miss it. We're on Facebook.com/profansports, Twitter.com/profansports, and of course, YouTube.com/profansport. Again, subscribe. And before we start, man, it's National Women's Day, right?
Yep,
It's
absolutely.
National Women's Day. So
Women's Day. Yep. Big
yeah.
shout out to all the women.
Yep, March 8th, 2021. So, you know, shout outs to the women out there. So I'm gonna put you guys on the spot. Women in sports. Who is an inspiring woman in sports for you?
Serena Williams. She's, to me, one of the best athletes I've seen in my generation. Not just women athlete, just best athlete in my generation. Sometimes, you know, it's, to me, the debate is between her and Tom Brady. As to people that have achieved so much during this generation. But yeah, I also want to say, you know, happy Women's Day, happy National Women's Day, but also want to say that, you know, National Women's Day is every day. We want to celebrate our women every day.
Who you got, Barry?
Yeah, I definitely would go with Lisa Leslie.
Ooh, Lisa Leslie, good. Yes.
Good one for sure. One of the great WNBA basketball players to play, had a, you know, great career, and, you know, was, you know, very successful, you know, playing in the league, and yeah, and he was definitely a great person as well. So I'd probably say her, and then another one would be Pat Summitt. Was a great women's basketball coach. I think honestly, it's either between her or Gino Auriemma as the best women's basketball coach, but she's definitely was a great, you know, advocate for, you know, women's college basketball, women's sports.
Rest in peace to her, man, for sure.
Yeah, R.I.P.
Rest in peace to her.
Absolutely, she was one of the GOATs. Absolutely.
Going back to Lisa Leslie, she scored 101 points in one game.
Jeez, damn. Pulled a Will Chamberlain, huh?
No,
pulled him.
Yeah, he won. She won up them. You know, it's National Women's Day. Will Chamberlain has no place here right now. Right. So
she pulled, she pulled the Lisa Leslie.
She pulled the Lisa Leslie.
Right,
man.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
True. Damn, I didn't know she could get buckets. I knew she could get buckets, but not like that.
You know what I heard though? She's only like 6'5", but she looks like, you know, she's 7 feet tall.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Maybe it's her body type, but she's really like not that tall. You know what I mean? For me, it's going to be Naomi Osaka. She just won the Australian Open, the most paid woman in sports right now. You know what I'm saying? Has used her platform for good. You know, is a very humble person. She's of Haitian and Japanese descent, and she says that loudly wherever she goes. You know, she stands up for social justice, regardless of, you know, who her fans are. You know what I'm saying? She's somebody that just stands up for people that can't, you know, speak for themselves. So shout outs to Naomi Osaka. And, you know, I guess the women in my family, you know what I'm saying? Because, you know, they're a big part of my life, and they definitely inspire me to do things that I wouldn't do for myself. You know, they motivate me. You know, they pray for me. They're worried about me. You know what I'm saying? So shout outs to the people in the fam, the women in the fam. Happy National Women's Day, man.
Yeah, shout out to the women in my family as well as actually my mom and my sister are big inspirational women in my life and inspire me every day to be the best person I can be.
For sure, man. So, back to the sports. As always, we're going to be getting into the NBA, NFL, MLB, NHL, etc. And then we'll do the B-Money Lifestyle Person of the Week. So let's get into it. So we're going to do the NBA where we're talking about the All-Stars, the All-Star weekend, the break, the league outlook. So let's get into it, right? So some NBA news, Blake Griffin had a contract buyout with the Detroit Pistons, right? News is he left $14 million on the table to get that buyout. So he left a lot of money out there, and since he has signed with the Brooklyn, with the Brooklyn Nets, right? So they got a stacked team. Add Blake Griffin, they're kind of like the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of the NFL right now. I mean, of the of the NBA, but they don't have a Tom Brady. We'll see who can step up and do something. All-Star. They have Kevin Durant.
He could be that guy. He has potential, right?
Well, I don't know. He had to join, a 73 game win team to get that rank. So, I don't know how much of a Tom Brady that guy is.
He's still the best player on that team and dominated, though. He's still balled out.
I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying. All right. He's no Tom Brady.
I'm not saying he's Tom Brady, but he's Kevin Durant and he busts ass.
Right. He was freaking cooking out there.
You know what's funny? He was my favorite player until that whole announcement. He really was. I've never seen anything like it, man. And I was so upset.
Turned you off, huh?
I was so upset, but if we talk to Kevin Durant, he'll say, dude, stop being so emotional. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm sure he'll say something along those lines.
No, that's he'll tweet back at me real quick. Stop being so emotional, dude. I did what I had to do. You know what I'm saying?
Get out your feelings, man.
For real. Some more NBA news. Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid did not play in the All-Star game this weekend because their barber, I guess, tested positive for corona. And, NBA guys and their haircuts, they got to look fly for the camera. So they're getting haircuts on like a daily basis. Are flying in a barber from all over the place to get haircuts. So, they couldn't play in the game. And Joel Embiid called it a Mickey Mouse game. Did you guys see that?
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that one.
He tweeted. He's like, oh, the Mickey Mouse All-Star game. I guess he's saying it's funny. It's like, dude, it's not people's fault that you contacted COVID, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? I thought that was funny though. That was all over the place.
Yeah, no, it was pretty hilarious for sure. I'm sure he's probably seen that because there was a lot of small ball and smaller guys that were on the court. Not too many of the big guys were out there for too long. So maybe that's probably why he was saying that, because all the guards and the wings were the ones that had the majority of the playing time. But yeah, that's hilarious that he really tweeted that.
Yeah, no, it was funny, but hey, a big man won MVP, so I don't know if that point makes too much sense. But
I think he was saying that just because he was hating.
That's what I'm saying. I think he was just straight up hating. It's like, bro, like, the All-Star game has to go on without you, regardless of what happened. Like, they're not gonna stop it because you contracted COVID. Is what I'm saying.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
But what I did hear is that him and Ben Simmons actually didn't test positive for COVID. Luckily, they were tested negative. But the NBA did want to just play it safe and didn't want to take any risk or chances and have them on the court. Due to the situation with the barber, that was actually from Philly. So, so that's why
we know
they didn't have him play in the game last night.
Well, we also know, right? Like Vlad told us on this podcast, there's an incubation period, right? And you're not going to test positive as soon as they test you right after the contact. Like, it doesn't work like that. I don't understand what people are not understanding, but like, you got to get that. Like,
It's been a year now.
It's come on, man. Get, the science is out there, the information is out there. Get it.
Mhm.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So they did not play for the game. And that's that. The All-Star game, Domantas Sabonis, he won the skills competition. I think that's like the second year in a row a big man has won the skills competition, or that's the second big man in like 3 years that's won it. You guys remember who won it last year?
Was it Vucevic?
It was somebody, man.
I think it was a big man last year. So
it was a big man last year. Yeah.
Won it, right. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it was Richards, but some big guy got it.
Right, and I believe he beat Luka Doncic on his way to doing that, right?
He did beat Luka, right.
So,
before he beat Vucevic. So I know that was impressive, but looked like Luka wasn't really even trying and just saving his energy for the All-Star game.
If that's what he's doing, what the All-Star game, like that game don't even matter.
But right. Me either. I don't know what he was doing, but he didn't look like he was putting really much effort into it. I mean, that's what I think.
Yeah, man. So Domantas Sabonis from the Pacers, the big man from the Pacers, he won the skills competition. Steph Curry won the 3-point contest.
That was a very entertaining 3-point contest.
Oh, you like that?
I really enjoyed that. That was the only part of the weekend that was actually good.
It was really short though, right? Was that me? It
No,
wasn't. No. It was the regular 3 points. Is that how they usually have it?
Yeah.
I feel like they have more rounds than that. No,
that's
am I wrong?
No, that's what they usually have it.
Maybe it's because everything was in one time.
Yeah,
like that made it seem like it was condensed.
On the same day. That's why. Right.
Yeah, maybe that's what that was. But Steph Curry won that, right?
Yeah.
So you like that, Vlad?
Yeah, in the first round he scored 31 points. And that was good. That was really good. It was really good 3-point shooting by everybody. I think the 31-point that Steph Curry scored was the most scored ever.
That's right.
Yeah, Jaylen Brown had a disappointing start.
God.
But besides
actually,
that,
I was talking to Barry while this was happening.
Right, we were. Yeah, we did talk during that, and we're both like, JB choked.
I think he missed like all his money balls. Every money ball on every rack, he missed it. And he missed no, I'm not talking about the money ball rack. I'm talking about the money ball at the end.
Yeah.
He missed like every rack. You know what I'm saying? Which you need those.
Yeah. He also missed he didn't hear the whistle. So he missed the beginning, which I think that's what happened. He missed the beginning. And then he was just like trying to rush through it.
Listen, he got nervous. He got nervous. It's his first All-Star. He's nervous.
But
you know what I'm saying?
But the 2-point contest was really good. I really enjoyed that.
I seen it.
No, me too. That was definitely by far the best contest of the three for sure. And they sent most of those guys did a good job and put on a good performance.
Right. Even Mike Conley, who was added to the All-Star game because Devin Booker had a knee situation going on. So he had to drop out of the game, and Mike Conley came in to replace him. I thought some other people
made the finals, right? He came in second.
Yeah, I thought some other people had better performance throughout the year to get it over Mike Conley, but I feel like sometimes there's politics in the league. You know what I mean? Since he's made it so many times before, it's easy. But I'm saying like somebody like Shea Gildress from Oklahoma, he was really good. De'Aaron Fox was really, really good. You know what I'm saying? So, and they had better numbers than him. So I thought some other people deserved that over him. But he didn't disappoint in a 3-point contest.
Well, real quick, I think the reason why they decided to invite Mike Conley and have him be a replacement was from Devin Booker, just because of how good the Jazz have been, and that they have the best record in the NBA right now, and they're now the best team in the West. So I think they wanted to have the top team in the league, have represent them with with 3 All-Stars, and and give them the benefit of the doubt in that regard. I think that's primarily the reason why they, decided to select Mike Conley, for the game. Because you're right, didn't have the best stats, but
I mean, I get
that team.
I get that, but I don't care about that. You know what I'm saying?
No, I hear you. I'm just saying
to
from
me,
their
like you
perspective.
go, yeah, no, I get it, but like no, you give it to the people that it's like Bradley Beal. They made up this year and made him a starter this year. You know what I'm saying? When last year he deserved it too.
Last year,
that's what I'm saying. It's like
that's a makeup one.
Don't get shit screwed up so you don't have to make up for it next year. Because I'm sure De'Aaron Fox or Shea's gonna get in the game next year. Because clearly they're performing this year. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like Jaylen Brown last year. Didn't make it, and now he made it this year. So I don't know. I say stop with the politics.
They got to get it right for sure.
Get it right. Get it right the first time. Yeah, whoever deserves it goes in. That's it.
Simple as that. Fact.
Simple as that. The All-Star game MVP was Giannis Antetokounmpo. He had 35 points on 16 of 16 shots.
Jeez.
Yeah. He actually got to play pretty free last night, so it worked out for him because he didn't have to facilitate anything, do anything of that nature. So he was in there putting shots back, dunking. I think he hit a 3 as well. He was out there playing free.
Yeah, for sure, he was.
You know what I
mean? He definitely played really well and had the best game and deserved to win that All-Star MVP, and was actually hitting his jump shots, which normally he doesn't do. So I know the couple of them, he banked them in, but nonetheless, he definitely had the best performance, by any All-Star, even though there's a couple of ones that had just as good of a performance, I thought, in Steph Curry and Dame
Lillard. Yeah, and they're all in the same team. Durant messed up with his draft.
I know, man.
I don't know what he was thinking.
Trash. What the hell was he thinking? For real.
I don't know what he was thinking, man. Zion Williamson played last night, and he was a starter because he replaced Joel Embiid, in the starting lineup. That dude missed like 3-4 dunks on that night. I was like, what is happening?
I know.
What is happening?
Look like himself at all, right?
You're Zion, man.
He was nervous that he was starting. Maybe that's why. Or it was his first All-Star.
First All-Star, so and you're starting.
He had the jitters. Right. He had the butterflies for sure.
Right. 2 All-Stars got heavily fined. Rudy Gobert, $20,000. Donovan Mitchell, $25,000 respectively, for comments made about the officiating during the game against the Philadelphia 76ers. So, their pockets are a little lighter, but those guys are millionaires, so I don't think they're...
Right, like that's Trump change to them, right.
Yeah, man. We're in the pandemic. We were talking about Joel Embiid testing, not testing, but being in a contact protocol and stuff like that. And big news came out of the NBA, and they said that they will not mandate their players to take the vaccine.
Which I'm really surprised about. Well, I guess it makes sense. Like, they don't want to force it on them. They don't want to push. They don't want to make it like you have to get this. But I'm sure it's going to be available to them whenever they want it.
Well, they're not mandating it. They're not saying you can't
get
it.
Yeah, exactly. They just,
Is that concerning to you?
I don't know if it's I don't know. I think the NBA is in a place where they don't want to put themselves in a situation where they're forcing players to get the vaccine, especially players of color that might not want to take the vaccine, and they don't want to put them in a situation where they're forcing the players to take the vaccine. The players say no, now it's a big issue. I think that's what they're trying to not get into. But I think eventually the players are going to take it. I mean, I don't think every player is going to take it, but I think most of the players are going to take it eventually. I'm pretty sure the NBA will make sure that it's available for them whenever the players want to take it.
You think Kyrie Irving had anything to do? No, I'm just
Kyrie.
You're joking, but you're joking, but I'm pretty sure, whenever the NBA makes a decision, they have to talk to NBA Players Association. So I'm sure Kyrie has something to do with it, and he's one of the presidents. So I'm sure he had something to do with it. But if you think about it, the NBA they're just not gonna put themselves in a situation where they're forcing black players to do something they don't want to do. You know what I'm trying to say? So I'm pretty sure.
I get it.
Yeah,
I get it.
They're not gonna put themselves in that situation right now.
If you're a player, are you getting it?
Well, I'm a human and I'm getting it. I got it. Period. So.
Oh, you got it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got both, or you got your first round.
Just the first round, getting the second round next week.
How was the first round?
The first round was nothing. I felt fine the whole time.
Was there any arm soreness? Because that's what I'm hearing.
No, you just feel that you got a vaccine at the spot that you got it. Like, but
oh, that's scaring John.
That's me, dude. I'd be like, oh, just do it. That'd be me. I'd be.
That's
how you are at the doctors.
Yo, I'd be like, yo,
for a shot?
Dude, just do it.
Go ahead, do what you gotta do.
Just do it right here.
Honestly, you don't even feel anything. You just.
Is it small? Is it a small syringe?
It's a regular size syringe.
Damn.
He's like, oh man, I was hoping for a small one.
But yeah, it's pretty harmless. It's the second one. The second one, I'm definitely taking the day off for the second one.
Yeah.
After the second one, you definitely feel fever and headaches. So I'm just gonna have my Gatorade and my soup next to me, and then.
Oh, I heard you should eat like a good meal before you take the second one. Because my cousin, she's in healthcare, so I'm definitely thinking about going to get that. So I'll be joining you soon. You know what I mean?
Y'all should definitely get that.
Yeah, Barry, you need to sign up too so we can come together.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll get it eventually, but we'll see when
you need to get that so I can feel better about myself. You know what I mean? I'm like, all right, all three of us got it. You know what I mean? If anything happens.
So you need a friend to go? You need someone to accompany you?
Yeah. If we could go together, that'd be good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we'll have to arrange that and set that up.
Yeah.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah, I'll hold your shoulders, you hold mine. You
guys can have a little Pool Fan Sports Podcast date.
For real, let's get it.
Word, let's do it. Right.
Let's get it.
We'll rock our Pro Fan Sports gear too that day.
Yeah, right. And explain to the doctors what the hell we're wearing. So
yeah, exactly. Right.
No, in all seriousness,
they're sports fans.
Yeah, no. In all seriousness, though, I'm definitely on the way to getting that myself, man. Because I want to get back to normal too, man. So
exactly.
Right, yeah, we all want to get back to a normal life.
It's just what
Absolutely.
It is. That's right, man. Some more situations going on in the NBA. Joel Embiid, he was donating all his All-Star proceedings to some charities, right, Barry?
Yes, he did. So what he ended up doing was, he donated all the $100,000, the All-Star money that he got to three homeless shelters in Philadelphia in that area to help out with clothing, COVID treatment, essential care for teens in summer camps as well. So pretty into help out with pretty much anything that the homeless shelter needed assistance with. So definitely I thought that was really cool and really awesome and genuine for him to be able to give back to those homeless shelters and people that need the help the most through this tough time that we're going through. So definitely big shout out to Joel Embiid for giving away his All-Star money for a better cause.
Right. So the All-Star game was won by Team LeBron, like we were saying earlier. The score of 170 to 150. MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo. LeBron James got to play with Steph Curry for the first time, and he made the world know about that. But what do you guys think about the game? Did you enjoy it? You still like the format? What were your thoughts on it? Just quickly.
I only enjoyed the 3-point contest. Like I said, the sculpt competition, I didn't get to watch that. The dunk contest sucked. The dunks were not impressive, really, except for the first one, really, that was impressive.
We mean the first round?
No, just the first dunk. I forgot that kid's name.
Cassius Stanley.
Yeah, Cassius Stanley.
He didn't even make it to the second round, which I thought was bullcrap.
Yeah, I think that was...
He got robbed.
Yeah, his first dunk was the best dunk of the night, I thought.
Mm-hmm. Right. Speaking of that, Anthony Simons, from the Portland Trailblazers, won the dunk contest. Yeah. He had a couple, regular dunks. Like, I didn't think anything was very spectacular about it. The dunk he won on was the one where he tried to kiss the rim but didn't kiss the rim, but they still gave it to him anyway. So it's like, okay.
I think if he did kiss the rim, that would have been nice.
That would have been nice. That would have been nice.
That would have been awesome.
He would have bust his teeth, but they would have been nice.
Yeah, I would have had to make a trip to the dentist after, but that would have definitely been impressive without question.
I wonder if he actually kissed the rim before, like at the Y or something.
He probably has, you know what I mean? But
I'm sure he has.
You have to be so precise with these dunks, man. You can't even be off by a couple inches to be able to do something like that. So he was the first Trailblazer player to ever win the dunk contest. So shout outs to him.
The game itself I thought was boring at times. Actually, I didn't even finish watching the whole thing. I thought it was boring, to be honest with you guys. I just I didn't like the fact that they were restarting the
clock, the
score, and I was just like, oh, okay. And
that's what they did last year, though, Black.
They did the same thing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I just couldn't stay with it this time. I don't know. I didn't enjoy it as much. I think maybe it's because the fans were there last year.
That's what I was just gonna say.
You know what it was? Last year they had the students. Every time that because every quarter was dedicated to some school in Chicago, and they had the students from each school there celebrating and stuff. That made it interesting. But I don't know. This year I was just like, He
wasn't with it.
No, I wasn't feeling it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think the All-Star game definitely had it's good moments and not as good moments to the game. But I mean, I liked the All-Star game. I enjoyed most of it. I enjoyed Steph Curry and Damian Lillard doing their thing. Shooting shots from half court. It honestly looked like those guys were playing horse.
I mean,
those two guys, they were trying to one up each other, and they're like, okay, you can shoot this shot and make it from here. Bet the next time down when I get the ball, I'm gonna go to that same spot or further and try to pull up and splash that shot.
LeBron actually said that. He told them hey, just keep going further back, and they kept going further back.
Wow, really?
You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah. LeBron said
LeBron told them that.
The last couple of shots were
behind the half-point line.
It was it was at half court.
That's what I meant. That's what I meant.
Half court. Yeah.
No, that was crazy.
And it's crazy because those guys made it seem as if they were, were just taking regular jump shots and we're hitting them with ease. They didn't look like they were had to jump higher or put more into it. It just looked effortless. It was just a regular shot to them. That was, pretty impressive and crazy they were able to hit, that shot with, as easily as they did.
Well, I mean, when you're not playing a game for your team and there's really no pressure, I can score and I can go to the court by myself and shoot the ball from half court and make it. You know what I mean? If there's other players on the court though, I mean, I might get a little nervous, but them, it's like they're not playing for anything. They're playing free, and they most of the time they would never do something like that in an actual game. You know what I mean? Like I've never seen an NBA player, shoot the ball from behind the half point line unless it's like the last second, of the clock or something.
Well, that's what Damian Lillard and Steph Curry do. That's why they call Damian Lillard Logo Lillard and Steph Curry.
A logo is different than behind the half line. You know what I'm saying?
Right. That's what I'm saying. But they usually take shots from beyond that 3-point line, like way beyond the 3-point line in a regular game and hit them consistently. So, yeah, I mean, it was pretty cool. I mean, to see that in an All-Star game, particularly since they were playing on the same team. I thought that, JT played pretty well, had 25, points in the game. Jaylen Brown did all right. Could have played better, but he did okay. But definitely was kind of like on and off. But I did like how they, kept the last quarter to, the same as last year, and the target scoring, the 24 points, for the leading team, and, to honor Kobe and to kind of make it more competitive. It wasn't really competitive, but at least it made, Team Durant try a little bit harder. But by that time, it was too late because they're already getting blown out by 20. So there's really nothing they could do to get back into the game. But thought it was a good overall game for an All-Star game with no fans, and due to the circumstances that we're in with with COVID, that league did the best they could to put on a good All-Star game, and I thought they did a decent job of that.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I had it on the whole time, but I didn't pay attention the whole time. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't that enticing to me. I liked, the players were cool. But I think the fans being missing from an All-Star game is like huge, because like that's really, really part of the game during the All-Star weekend.
Absolutely.
All the celebrities come out. They're on the sideline. They're sitting. They're messing around with the players. LeBron's going to grab somebody's cup to drink their juice or whatever, he'd be doing on the sideline with those people. And, it definitely was lacking. It seemed like LeBron barely played last night. I think he rested most of the game.
He played 13 minutes.
So, like he's old.
That's it.
He's 36.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Like they said in the video, he's 36. Yeah.
He's 36. So, he played 13 minutes. Steph Curry looked like he was on the bench a lot of the time. Zion Williamson looked like he was on the bench a lot of the times. It wasn't like a regular production. It was cool, but it was kind of lackluster. So, Team LeBron won for the 4th straight year in a row, and that he's been a captain. So clearly this dude has a GM spot in his future. So, because he's been doing it well. I mean, albeit it's with All-Stars, so, you're not going to get All-Stars.
I was about to say, I can GM.
You know what I mean?
Right. Well, quick comment on that. I actually heard someone else point that out, that, he could, potentially be a GM. But then at the same time, when you really think of it, and, know LeBron James and his personality, I can't imagine him working for someone else. So he'd probably be more likely to be an owner, and actually, be the boss and, and run a team. Because I know he said he wants to be an owner after he's done playing, that he wants to get into ownership. So, yeah, I don't see
he could do both.
Orders.
He could do both.
That's
if
true.
he wants to. It's his team.
Right. Who's gonna tell LeBron that can't do that? Right.
It's like Jerry Jones. It's like, who's gonna tell him who to like? He's gonna draft whoever the hell he feels like it. You know what I'm saying? So
no, facts. I feel you right. He's definitely capable of having both positions if he wants to do that in his future.
Okay. So now the first half of the season is officially over. We got the Utah Jazz with the best record in the league right now. They're leading everybody. Are these guys Are they contenders or are they pretenders?
I think they're pretenders to me. I think they're pretenders to me because contend. Well, I'm sorry. Of course, they're contenders, but
Wait a minute. Didn't you vote for the Jazz last year to go? I thought you were
uh,
on the Jazz train last year.
well, what happened last year is you guys they were facing
The Nuggets.
Denver, and you guys were disrespecting them, and I had to let you guys know what was going on. But it's not that. I mean, I believe in the Jazz. I think they're a good team, and I think they're gonna make it far. I'm sorry, they're not pretenders, but they're not championship caliber. I think. I think. I just don't think like this is the year for them. I think we obviously see that there is a monster on the East that's building, and it's almost Thanos like the way they're building their team, and so I think they're a really good team, and I think they're gonna go far. I think they definitely might reach the Western Conference Finals. I think that's a possibility for them. But I'm not sure if they're going to the finals.
Pretenders or contenders, Barry?
Oof. I don't know, because it's like I want to see more from them. Like, I know we've seen a whole half of basketball from them, and they've played, really well, and have been pretty consistent in the first half. But I don't know if I'm ready to call them contenders yet. I still want to see how they're gonna play, in the second half of the season, particularly since, that's really when the real games start, and the games matter, even more, and and then teams start to play at a high level. So I want to see them continue to, how long can they keep this up? Because it's nice what they're doing right now, and gone off to a great start, and they're deservedly the best team in the West right now. But I want to see if they can sustain that and keep that for the whole season before I call them a true contender to actually win the championship this year. They're certainly one of the top teams in the West, and are going to be there in the end, and should definitely make the Western Conference Finals. Ones they definitely make the Western Conference, but I think they have a really good chance to be there, when that time comes. But I also want to remember, this is the same team that lost a 3-1 lead to the Nuggets, so they have to prove themselves on that they can do this in the playoffs as well as the regular season, because what they sound to remind me of is like the Milwaukee Bucks. They're a regular season team that have a really good regular season, but when they get to the playoffs, they come up small and they don't play as well. They're not the same team. So
have the Jazz been consistently in the playoffs?
They've made the playoffs the last few years since Donovan Mitchell's been there. They've been in the playoffs pretty much every year
since he came in as a rookie.
Right, but they've been losing every time they've gotten to the playoffs. The first round, they haven't even. Well, think they won 1 year against OKC in the first round, and then they lost in the second round. But the last couple of years, they haven't played typically that well in the playoffs. So I want to see them continue to play this well throughout the season and into the postseason. But they're certainly a threat, without question, in the Western Conference, and are right there with the Lakers and the Clippers as the top teams in the West.
I think I'm gonna go with contenders, right? Because the word contenders means to contend, right? And I think with the way things are set up right now in the West, they're definitely contending. One, they have the best record in the league, already, and they've played majority of those contenders and beat them so far already. Does that make them, like championship caliber? I'm not saying all that, but I definitely think they're, a team that went into the playoffs last year was starting to do really well, and lost it in a really, heart-wrenching fashion. And you saw how Donovan Mitchell reacted to it. And this year, you've seen him come back on a whole new level. You know what I'm saying? Like, this guy, he's making his presence felt. He's being a leader. And it sounds like the teams, they're following his lead. And, the other guys playing well, too, in Rudy Gobert. And then they have good pieces around them, too. So I think this is a team that's definitely going to be a sleeper in this thing. I think
Not a sleeper. They're not sleeping on anybody.
They're not. But you know what I'm saying? But like, as far, maybe I should say a dark horse, you know what I'm saying? Maybe that's a better word for them. I think they're definitely going to surprise a lot of people. I like Donovan Mitchell's attitude. I like the way they play together. It kind of like reminds me of Detroit Pistons, with how they played together so well. And I'm talking about the
even
Detroit
like
Pistons,
the San Antonio
the Spurs. You know what I'm saying? So they got a complete team over there. Even without Mike Conley, they were still having success.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
balling,
So
right.
I think they're definitely contenders for now. I'm not gonna call them a pretender because they made it to the playoffs. I feel like a pretender is gonna be somebody that hasn't gone anywhere yet, and all of a sudden, they're kind of like the Suns right now, right? The Suns, who haven't been to the playoffs, they started winning last year. Now they're winning again this year. I think they're like number 4th in the West right now.
Yeah,
and
they're top 4 team in the West. Yeah.
You could say they're going to be one of the top teams, but they haven't won anything, so we don't know yet. So I feel like they would be more of the pretenders. If I was to say there was a pretender out there. So I mean, we'll see what happens. Anything that was surprising to you in the first half before we move on to some Celtics news? Anything that's surprising you, or anything that you want to touch on as far as like the first half of the NBA season?
No, all things that we touched on, the Jazz, the Nets, really those two teams. I'm surprised by how, I'm surprised by Toronto, Miami,
Celtics. No,
not
not really.
Not really.
That was the setup.
But anyways, let's move on.
I just want to say a couple things, particularly that I'm surprised about. I'm surprised about what I'm seeing from the New York Knicks.
Yes,
that's definitely a big surprise, without question. I think they've been by far the most surprising team in the East and have played a lot better than most people expected out of them, and they've certainly have won a lot more and have a higher seed in standing and higher spot in the standings than we thought. We didn't think they'd be a top 5 team in the East. We thought they'd be at the bottom half.
Who else you got?
Also the Hornets is what I'm surprised what I'm seeing from the Hornets. We knew LaMelo Ball was gonna play well, but I feel like the rest of that team is also playing well too, and it's certainly shown that they're a playoff team in the East, or at least going to get one of the top 8 spots. So I certainly like what I'm seeing from them, from that team overall.
No, facts, man. I like the Hornets pick because of LaMelo Ball, man. That kid's special.
He is
Rookie of the Year, hands down, so far. There's
Absolutely.
a whole half of the season left, and I feel like he's running away with it.
I feel like he's already won it pretty much.
The youngest to ever hit a triple-double. You know what I'm saying? He's going against – he's starting now. You know what I'm saying? Already, and he's putting up good numbers, and his passing ability, man, is like – it's ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? I post about him all the time. Another surprise for me is Joel Embiid. Joel's been balling, yo. You know what I'm saying? MVP candidate, putting the team on his back. He doesn't look like he's out of breath, as soon as the third quarter hits. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he's more comfortable with his role, with the way Doc Rivers is using him. And 76ers overall, man, they're number one in the East right now, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And Joel Embiid got them on his back, and Doc Rivers is using them how he should be using them, and they're doing well, man. That's the team I'm definitely scared of, this year. Before I wasn't too scared of them when it comes to the Celtics, of course. But now it's like we got some stuff to think about,
Yeah,
not just the Nets,
And Sixers too, absolutely.
Sixers, Bucks, you know what I'm saying? Like
right.
we got a lot to think about in the East right now. So
look how fast the Celtics are not a hot team anymore in the East.
It's crazy.
Look how fast that happened.
It's crazy.
Facts. Within a year, that just happened, right? Where they're not even a top 3 team. We're not even talking about them as the best teams in the East. I know it's, life really comes at you fast, right? And
right,
they're not keeping up with, with the top, contenders in the East, and they're certainly suffering because of that.
Hey, with that said, the Celtics went into the All-Star break with a 4-game winning streak, right? Their last 2 games was against the Clippers and the Raptors, and they won those. And they're looking like they're doing things better than they were before, than they were when they dropped to number 9 in the East, So they're back in the number 4th position, but not by like a huge margin. Right now it's really anybody's game right now because everybody's won like 19, 18, 17 games. So, it's it's a pretty close race right there. Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum represented us in the All-Star game. They did their thing there. When they come back, which is the following Thursday, which is going to be what? March
11th.
They will be opening the second half of the season against the Nets. So we'll get to see the Nets with the new addition in Griffin.
Blake Griffin, yeah.
Blake Griffin. Yeah, so we'll get to see what that looks like.
Oh, I'm excited for that game now.
Yeah?
I'm really excited.
You don't think we're going to get smacked and that it's going to be a blowout?
We'll get smacked, but I'm excited for the game. Well, no. I don't know if we're gonna get smacked, but I think whenever a good team is coming to town, you got the Nets who just added Blake Griffin, which now they're a 4-headed monster. I want to see what that looks like. In the first game they're gonna play it against us. I don't know if Durant is gonna be back for that game.
I don't think he'll be back.
I don't think he'll be back for that game. But it'll be good to see what the Celtics look like versus one of the best team in the league. It's always good to see that. I don't think we're gonna get smacked per se. I don't think that's what's gonna happen. But I don't think we're gonna win that game either.
Yeah, I think a blowout's coming. I'm not too hopeful about.
Last time I told you guys a blowout was coming from the Nets, y'all laughed at me. Y'all remember that, right?
I thought, was it against the Bucks or the Nets?
Both of them.
It was both of them.
Yeah, that shit was both teams. Right?
Y'all was laughing at me then.
Bucks, but you were right about the Nets, right?
Yeah.
I think it was on Christmas Day, right, when we played the Nets, and they destroyed us. Yeah.
Yep.
Listen, we can't all be negative, lad. We gotta stay positive.
I'm not negative. I'm realistic. I just could feel it.
I don't want to be. Sometimes I don't want to be that realistic, man. Like, please do something.
Hey, sometimes you gotta keep it real, man. When we're on this podcast,
we do
for sure. But I mean, to be realistic, I think that if they play their best and they bring their A game and come ready to play, they could particularly without Kevin Durant, they could be competitive in this game and and at least give the Nets a somewhat of a run. But I think I don't think they're really their chances are pretty good of winning this particular game, unless if the Nets just play really, really bad. But I think that they can, definitely compete and hang in there. I hope Marcus Smart's ready to, to come back by by then he might not be, but it will certainly help if he's able to be back in the lineup and having him out there.
I mean, I think the team's figuring out how to win without Marcus lately, which is good. But I think that would be good for him to come back for sure because, we definitely miss a defensive edge when he's not in the lineup. The Celtics have, been in some rumors, which they have been all year. You know what I'm saying? When you have a player exception, a trade exception, everybody's thinking what you're going to do. So just this past week, there's been rumors that the Celtics are interested in Jeremy Grant, which is a player from the Pistons. He's like their best player. So I don't know how we're going to swing these things. And they're also interested in Vucevic from the Orlando Magic, which is their big man over there. With that said, what's your second half expectations for the Celtics?
Well, I think Danny has to make some kind of move, right? I think we need a big man. We need a wing player. I would like a little bit of the big man, but also like a veteran. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to see. I think as far as the Celtics goes, depending on who depending on who would bring in, I think we'll definitely will be in the playoffs for sure. But I'm not expecting big things from the Celtics this year. I'm just not. It's tough to say. I don't, because in past years we've made it to the Eastern Conference Final, and that's something we expect every year at least. I just don't expect it this year. I think
did we expect that last year?
When they started, it's not that that's what the goal was for me. The goal was at least the Eastern Conference Final. Okay. This year, I just don't think we're even there. I think if we make it to the playoff, hopefully we make it against, the Knicks or.
If we make it to the playoff.
Well, I'm sorry. We will make.
We're really saying that, right?
We will. Wow. No, I think we will. Let me stop. We will make it to the playoff. If we play against the Pacers or the Knicks or who's another good? Maybe
the Hornets.
Yeah. Then we might be able to pass first round. But if we play against
Nets,
Philly, the Bucks,
yeah,
I just don't see it.
Yeah, even Miami, right.
I just don't see us making it past first round.
What's your expectations, Barry?
Yeah, no, I expect this team to play better and be more consistent. And I definitely expect them to get in the playoffs. They should definitely be in the playoffs and be a playoff team. I expect them to be a top 4 team. They shouldn't be anything less than that 4th spot. If they have that 5 spot, I would definitely be disappointed. I wouldn't be too thrilled and happy about that. I'm expecting to see them actually at least win the round. I think definitely they shouldn't be by any means be out in the first round and be one and done. That would be a major disappointment, and they'll certainly have to reevaluate the roster and just the organization in general, if that's the case, because that's certainly unacceptable for this team to be a one and done team in the playoffs. But they should definitely at least make the Eastern Conference semifinals, and then probably gonna exit from there unless if they make a move. But if they really feel like this team has a chance, particularly Danny Ainge, with the comments that he recently said on the radio saying that the team's not good enough to be able to compete and contend in the East, then if he really feels like this team's worth it to actually make a move, he should definitely, do that with the trade deadline coming up in a couple weeks. He certainly has to, look to bring in at least a piece. I don't know if he's going to bring a couple, but he has to bring somebody
Something.
in that can help. You can't just sit back there and not do anything and say, oh, yeah, we tried to do something. We tried to contact all these teams and go after a number of players, but we couldn't find, a deal that we thought worked out for us and that was worth it and stuff. That's what they say every year. I don't want to hear that same BS this year. I want to see some action. I want to see them being active and actually do something to help improve the team and at least increase their chances of, making it further in the playoffs. So, it'll be interesting to see if that does happen, but I, expect to see a much better team than what I saw in the first half, because I'm not too happy with what I saw from them in the first half, and they certainly need to be better than what they were if they're going to make anything of this season. And even Brad Stevens has to be better too, as well. So we definitely got to hold him accountable.
We talked about a few getting players, but we do have a few players that's that got some injuries, right? One being Marcus Smart, who comes back. And what's the word on a Romeo Langford? You know what I'm saying? Who I feel like
I didn't heard anything from him. I don't think he's ever going to come back.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and that
if he
dude
does, they'll probably send him to the G League.
No, I feel like last year he started coming into his own,
What's up with him?
He had the wrist
injury,
surgery.
The wrist surgery, right.
And I haven't heard from him since. It's like, when does he come back? Because that's a body we could use, an athletic body that was starting to get the game, at the end of last year, I thought was going to be helpful this year. And then boom, that happened. But for me, expectations, I'm not even like looking at playoff expectations. I'm looking at player expectations. I'm looking at Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, to see if they can take their game, and the team to another level, right? Can they, operate under the pressure that they've been getting, right? Because we saw what happened. They started failing a little bit, and then now they're coming back a little bit. Now that they're all-stars, Jaylen Brown's an all-star. They've been around other all-star players, for the weekend. I want to see what they can do. My expectation is that they're going to come back and be even better than what they were, this time around, with a more concerted effort, making the team a better team, right? I heard Jason Tatum in his press conference talking about, I want to come back, and be an all-star starter for years to come. For you to do that, you got to start hitting buckets. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to start taking over games and winning games, putting the team on your back, which he's done a few times, but I want to see that on a more consistent basis, right? I want to see better bench play. My expectation is better bench play, right? Pritchard, he's been in the league for a little bit now. He's played more NBA games than he does an NCAA game in a season, right? So It's kind of like, all right, do you hit a wall or do you continue on the progression that you've been showing as of recent? You know what I'm saying? So I think I have more team expectations, like player expectations, than like team expectations for me.
Yeah. I'm not going to put that much pressure on Pritchard just because he's a rookie. Just like you said, he's played more games than he's ever played in a season this year. Yep. And so eventually his legs are going to get tired. It's not the rookie's job. He's not even a first pick. You know what I mean? He's not like the
26.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to put that much pressure on him. I think it's up to Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown to improve their team games. I think their individual game is fine.
Right.
I think
the team game for sure.
Individually, I think Jason Tatum's been awesome the last couple of games. Jaylen Brown, obviously, I think he's the most improved player this year. I think individually they've been playing well. It's together, you know what I mean? And maybe, hopefully when Smart comes back, that can improve. Maybe they can get together and improve that. It's the team game, the passing. Like sometimes the Celtics doesn't pass enough, and that
Yeah,
Ball
consistency
movement,
that's been a
exactly.
problem.
pass
Moving the ball, yeah.
it pisses me off. You know what I mean? It's like a lot of ISO, and I'm like, and I understand because as you get better as an NBA player, it's like, okay, let me try and make my own shot. Once you start knowing how to make your own shot, now you need to know how to play within the team, within the scheme, within making your other players better. And I think that's where those guys are at. Both Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum, they are at that level where it's like, okay, now that you can make your own shot, how do you get everybody involved? Because Michael Jordan had to deal with that, you know what I mean? He had to, like, get Steve Kerr involved. He had to get the other people involved. We all watched the documentary last year. He taught, was his coach,
Phil
Jackson.
Phil Jackson told him, you know, you got to get everybody, other people involved because they know how to guard you now, you know what I mean? And Steve Kerr had to have that same conversation with old boy over there. What's his name? Steph Curry.
With Curry, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Klay Thompson and all that.
So I think it's time for those guys to be like, okay, we know how to score. We're going to score eventually.
Yep.
Now, how do we get the other guys involved? How do we get easy shots for Pritchard? How do we get easy shots for 55? How do we get
Ojale?
For Ojale.
Right,
How do we get easy shots for Theis? You know what I mean? That's
Grant,
that's where we
Tristan.
are. I think that's where we are right now.
I completely agree. I don't mean to put pressure on Peyton Pritchard at all. I think I'm just more impressed on how well he's played, which, you know, it's more of a testament to him for me to even have these expectations, you know what I'm saying? Because he's came in, and like I said, you know, when I first heard about it, he hasn't been scared, and he's been contributing. So, you know, as a fan, I definitely like to see, you know, more development from him. You know, I'd like to see him keep going in the trajectory that he's been going on. Basically, is what I'm saying. Hopefully, he can maintain the stuff that he's been doing for us. You know, dropping 10. You know, dropping 10 and 6, 10 and 7. You know, 15 and whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, I think it's just more of a testament to him and how good he's been so far early on in his career, and he's been one of the key pieces for the Celtics. You know, I also want to see, you know, Kemba Walker get even healthier.
Right,
you know
I was just gonna say that.
I want to see him continue, you know, what he's been doing the last couple of weeks, because he's been on a tear, you know, and he's been leading the team in scoring, and every time he does that, we win the game. So I want to see him keep showing that leadership and, you know, shutting us up, because we've been talking bad about about the boy all season. So those are my
absolutely, John, and I think, you know, I couldn't agree with you more on that. I think there's a better chance that we do see him, you know, play well. I think he has finally, like, turned the corner, and that, you know, knee's starting to feel better, and he's starting to look more, you know, quicker, more explosive, you know, going towards the basket and, you know, and moving around on the court. So I think that, you know, that's one of the biggest keys to the second half of the season for the Celtics is, you know, which Kemba Walker are we gonna see, and how's he gonna, you know, be able to play the rest of the season? I think a big factor, you know, one of the factors that will work out in his favor is that they don't have as many back-to-backs as they were playing, and since he couldn't play on second nights of, you know, back-to-back because of the knee, that will certainly help that they'll have, you know, rest days in between games so that he doesn't have to worry about not playing on second nights of back-to-backs, and he'll be able to play more games and get the proper rest he needs in between, so that he can keep that knee as healthy and as fresh as possible.
Well, also,
towards the end of the season.
We've also had the most away games this season as well as a team. So, you know, we'll be able to be at home a little more for the second half of the season too. So hopefully that helps out too. You know what I mean? With fans.
The fans coming back at the end of the month, that will certainly help. Absolutely. And I think this team really needs that. They need that energy and, you know, that boost.
They're young.
The Celtics,
they need that.
Give them, you know, each and every night they're in the building, right? They're young, and also just sometimes when you get, like, tired and stuff, when you, like, playing a really tough game, sometimes you just need those fans to lift you up and
Give you some
You know,
energy.
right. And
No,
get
I get
you
it.
going in that atmosphere for sure is a factor as you get later in the season. So I think that will certainly help this team play better, moving forward once that happens. But definitely
For
Kimber
sure.
Walker has to be the Kimber Walker that we know of and that we've seen the last few games for this team to actually go anywhere, regardless of whether they make a move or not. If he plays like himself, they'll be fine, but if he doesn't, then they won't go too far. There was actually some breaking news that just happened in the NFL. Some big news.
What?
Dak
Tom Brady.
Prescott just got a deal
Oh, I thought you was
for.
gonna say. I thought you were gonna say Tom Brady was coming back to the Patriots.
Stop playing around, man.
Yo, bro, come on, man! Don't play with our emotions and our feelings like that, man.
Stop playing,
Come
man.
on, bro. Exactly, right. Like, don't do that, man.
Yeah, man.
All right, what is it?
So yeah,
It's
the deal.
Dak Prescott.
Dak Prescott just signed a deal with the Cowboys. The deal was 4 years, 160 mil, 126 mil guaranteed with 75 mil in first year.
It's all about the Benjamins, baby.
So he finally got the bag. He finally got his deal.
Yo, shout outs to Dak Prescott for doing that. So I mean, with that said, we're gonna move right into the NFL anyway. So that was the big breaking news right there. Dak Prescott, you got it right on the show as we're recording. So Dak Prescott is now signed with the Cowboys for a very lucrative deal, only 4 years, almost 200. You know what I'm saying? He said he wanted to get paid, under Patty Mahomes. That's not too bad because Patty Mahomes got a 10-year deal. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to the 4-year deal. And, the way he's playing, he might get another big contract in a few years. So more power to him. Dak Prescott is definitely one of the good guys in the league.
4-year, 160 million, 126 million guaranteed. That's the most guaranteed money ever.
Ever.
Yeah,
that's even more guaranteed money than Pat Mahomes. So no, yeah, absolutely right.
That's awesome, man.
That's a big contract. Good for Dak for sure. That contract looks like it's similar to Deshaun Watson, but just with a lot more guaranteed money.
Exactly.
That's what's up, man. Good for him.
Yeah, he deserves it big time.
He definitely deserves it because he was tearing it up last year before he broke his ankle, man.
Balling.
That
guy can ball.
Let's get into it, man. So some more news for the NFL. Alex Smith was released by the Washington football team. So now he'll be looking for a different team. I don't know if that's a good idea because the guy, he's dragging a leg. So I don't know. I feel like that guy should hang it up. I don't know.
I disagree. I think he made the miraculous comeback last year. He's proved everybody wrong, an injury that nobody thought he was going to walk from. Not only that he walked, he beat an undefeated Steelers team. He put the Washington football team in the playoffs. So I think he should continue playing.
Barry, you think he should continue playing?
I mean, I could see him playing for another year, but at the same time, for his, health, from a health standpoint, it'd probably be best for him to, not play and hang it up and to go out on a good note, ending his, comeback story, on good terms for sure, being the comeback player of the year, last year with the Washington football team and, playing well before he couldn't play in that playoff game, but he certainly had a good season. So from that standpoint, I think he should probably, just call it a career and call it quits and, and not come back. But I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back for one more year. But I don't think the Pats should pick him up and, look to sign him. I think they should look at other options at the quarterback position.
Well, we'll talk about the Pats, soon. But yeah, I agree with that. Please don't pick him up. I think for sure, this dude, man. I mean, I look at it this way, right? All the starting quarterbacks in this league are, working towards going into the championship, right? Um, and I think some quarterbacks know that, that's not what's gonna happen. And I feel like Alex Smith knows that. It's like you're not on a contender, and if you're gonna be on a contender, you're going to be a backup. You know what I'm saying? At that. So, with the way things looked last year, I'm glad he came back. It was awesome that he was able to do it. But there was one game I was watching, maybe that was a playoff game, where this player kind of like came out of nowhere and like landed near his leg. And the way he looked down at that player, man, I'm like, yo, he looked so scared that his knee was gonna get hit. You know what I'm saying? To me, it's like if you're gonna play like that, you shouldn't be on an NFL football field. You know what I mean? Because if you're gonna play scared and grab for your knee every time somebody falls down near you, I feel like you're just calling for disaster to happen. The guy had 17 surgeries on his leg. Do you really want to go through with some shit like that again?
Hell no, he shouldn't.
We've seen players just fall down and tear an ACL. Do you really want to do that? You know what I'm saying? Just running, just fall down and tear an ACL. You know what I mean? No contact type of stuff. It really happened to Julian Edelman. You know what I mean? Like, is that something we really want? I don't know. To me, it's like, bro, you've proved it. You came back. You got to play a couple more games in the NFL, which I feel like was the goal. It's like, now what are you going to do? Who are you going to sign?
Right. What more do you have to prove? Exactly, right.
Who's going to sign you, and how are you going to get playing time now? You know what I mean? Because I think it would be messed up for a team to actually sign Alex to become their starter. Like, where are you going to go where you're going to be the starter of the franchise?
Well, I'm sure someone would sign him as a backup. I wouldn't say, or to come in and compete. He wouldn't be the starter.
Listen,
on any team that brings him in. He'd most likely be the backup in the second string quarterback. So
I wouldn't even have him as the backup.
Most likely chance.
I wouldn't even have him as a backup, man. Like, I'd have him as a backup to the backup.
Quarterbacks in the league than him, John. That's the thing. There's worse guys than Alex Smith. So I think he is right. If he wants to play, he what I'm saying, could or has a good chance to get a backup quarterback position on the NFL roster for next year.
I agree. He's better than a lot of backups out there. But a lot of backups out there didn't have 17 surgeries on their leg. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
John. Of course.
Exactly. It's like, bro, come on, man. Like, I respect it, but some stuff is just like I don't know what you're chasing, but you've accomplished the things you needed to. You know what I mean? In my eyes, anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, good luck to him anyway. But more NFL news. Kyle Rudolph was released, the tight end from the Minnesota Vikings. He was released. So we'll see what happens. I know a tight end needy team out there that might need some help because they didn't have any tight end production last year. So hopefully they get on it. Dolphins decided that they were going to release Kyle Van Noy, who is a former Patriots, a linebacker that got paid like $13 million a year to sign with the Dolphins. They were going to release him, and that would actually help them save $9 million on their cap space. And now they're changing their minds because they want to try to trade him, which kind of like never works because teams know you want to release a player, so why would I trade you anything for him? It already came out, like you want to release him. So now you want me to be the dummy to go and trade you something for him, for a player you were gonna release anyway. Like
exactly.
You better swallow sense. Right, you better swallow them checks.
Well, the only thing I can think of is a team might come in and be like, hey, I'm just gonna give you a 7th round pick or a 6th round pick for him because that guarantees that team that they get him.
I think the Dolphins are in a hard place right now. They need cap space. You know what I'm saying? And playing like that, I don't think they're in a position to they don't have any leverage.
Yeah, no,
You know what I'm
don't.
saying? Now that the news came out that you were going to release him, like, you lost all your leverage.
Yeah.
If you came out
Exactly.
in the offseason and was like, you know, he's on the trading block, that's a different thing. But it's like, oh, so you were going to release him. Now you're going to try and trade him. It's like, I'm not giving you shit for this.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
You're
I'm not
either going to
giving you
release
any
him.
draft assets. Exactly.
Right. You're either going to release him or swallow the cap hit, you know, and
Get
have
money,
a player.
exactly.
Have a player on your roster you didn't even want on your roster anyway, so you really can't play right there. You know what I'm saying? So I know that it might have been, you know, a Patriots thing too, because Kyle Van Noy hasn't performed well on any team other than the Patriots.
Exactly.
So where's he gonna go? You know, he was with Detroit, got traded for
trash.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Dirt cheap. You know what I mean? Came in. Won a Super Bowl, you know what I mean? Played well the 3 years he was here, and now he went somewhere for a year, and they're releasing him again. So I don't know if other teams are using him the way they're supposed to. And
well, he actually did decently with the Dolphins. Like, it wasn't like he was trash and, you know, he didn't do anything.
It's the production doesn't match the money.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
That's the thing. No, you do. That's a good point. No, you're right.
The production doesn't match the money.
Producing as well as they thought until, like you said, up to that contract, up to those standards.
Right. This guy was supposed to make what, $13 million, and here comes the Patriots. We'll give you $1 million. You know, for 1 here's Belichick for 1 year. You'll remake your image, and next year you can sign a bigger contract somewhere else. What do you say? You know what I mean? That's Belichick right there.
Right. That's what he does. That's what they do.
Dude, you just got released. Why would we pay you anything? You know, kind of like Cam Newton.
Hey, guys, we've already been recording for an hour and 22 minutes, so let's try to stay too long on certain subjects.
All right, gotcha.
Yep. Let me hurry up through the rest of that right there. All right. You good?
Yep.
More news. The Buccaneers are looking to restructure the contract with Tom Brady. You know, it looks like the guy's gonna play until he's 50 because they keep restructuring stuff and, you know, adding years and stuff like that. More power to Tom Brady. Tom Brady also had surgery on his knee, and it was reported that it was more significant than previously reported. So, the guy's a warrior. Ryan Fitzpatrick was set to retire. Well, that was a rumor. And now he came out and basically said he wants to play. So more Fitz magic for 2021. You know, I don't think anybody's mad at that. Safety Micah Hyde agreed to a 2-year extension with the Bills. It's worth $19.3 million. So people are getting the bag already. Steelers and Big Ben agree on a new contract. Now he's signed through 2022. That's very surprising because, you know, the way things were looking.
I think that guy is just like Drew Brees. I think he's done.
I think so too.
I think in the beginning of the year he might throw a lot and he might look good, but after, you know, game 10, game 12, he
looked like a shell of himself.
Yeah, garbage
for sure, man.
No Tom Brady over there.
Hey, listen, good luck to the Steelers because if that's your starter for next year, I don't know if, you know, you're gonna get much better.
I feel bad for you, Eddie Rodriguez.
Well, real quick, just a quick thing on that. I think the only reason why they did that deal was to buy them some more time to find who the next quarterback's gonna be.
Yeah, so they should have been working on that.
Well, it's hard to find, John, as we're experiencing.
Listen,
with the next guy, it's not as easy said than done. So sometimes you need to do something and maybe keep a guy for a year or two longer to buy yourself more time to find that next guy at that position because they currently don't have it on the roster.
What happened to Roethlisberger last year?
He had a good start to the season. Then not
last year. The year prior, what happened to him?
He got injured, right? The elbow injury. He missed.
That should have told you it's time to start working on something. So. I think they did a detriment right there, but, you know, it's better than the Patriots who just let Tom Brady go. So,
just wanted to throw that out there.
Just wanted to throw that out there. Golden Tate was released, or is reportedly released by the Giants. You know, the receiver. He's a veteran receiver who's been rumored to be of Patriots' interest for a long time, and he just never came around here. So I don't know if he's going to end up here. David Johnson, running back from the Texans, agreed to a 1-year deal with the Texans again. You know, he was a guy that was crazy productive just a few years ago, and then how fast these guys just lose it, man. Like, it's amazing because that guy was number 1 pick in the draft in fantasy for like 2 years, and then the 3rd year it was a wrap.
It's running backs.
It's crazy, man. Right? It's a shelf life for running backs, man. It's wild,
right, that's
especially
the position, right?
Somebody that was utilized so much. Chris Godwin, receiver from the Buccaneers. You know, reports are coming out more and more likely he'll be franchised. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't have the cap space and the money to pay him the contract he wants right now. So he's most likely going to go on a franchise tag, which he already said that he'd be willing to sign. So that's most likely going to be the way to go. Jason Kelsey from the Philadelphia Eagles, he agreed to a contract worth up to $12 million. So guys are starting to get signed. Teams are getting ready for free agency. So we'll see how that goes, man.
One last thing, it's reported that Tom Brady wants to bring Odell Beckham to the Bucs.
Yeah.
Oh, wow, really? He's trying to get OBJ over there to Tampa?
Right.
Is that right?
He wants him, but the way the contract is, it's probably very highly unlikely that happens. Unless, you know, Antonio Brown is gone and, you know, other pieces are gone too. I don't know how they're going to be able to bring him in. Unless they, I don't know, restructure, re-sign Brown and then trade him or something. I don't know how they're going to do that. You know? I really don't.
Exactly. They don't have the cap space for that, so that's why I'm not really buying that.
Right.
Anything's possible with Tom Brady. You know, that guy can make anything, pretty much anything happen. So I don't put anything past him. But you're right, he's got his work cut out him for trying to make that happen.
That's the power he wanted, you know, with the Patriots. And he was like, we have a coach to do that stuff. So, you know. But to be fair, the Patriots were trying to bring Odell Beckham here. They had a trade for him with the New York Giants, and the New York Giants was like, well, if the Patriots want him, why would we trade him? It's going to bite us in the ass. So they kept him, and they signed him to that $95 million contract, which is what he's still on right now. So
just so that they could trade him the next year, because didn't they trade him the following year after they gave him that contract? I remember that. Right.
That was so dumb.
That's what it was. They didn't want to give him to the Patriots.
To the Patriots. Exactly. They didn't want him here. You know, they did not want us to have they didn't want Tom Brady to have a top receiver, because you see what every defensive player is saying this offseason. They can't wait for Tom Brady to retire. It's like they've had so many guys. They're like, he needs to retire. He got to go. You know what I'm saying? Guys are saying that like blatantly, like he has to go.
I've been hearing that too, John. That's facts. No, that's no lies detected on that. I've been hearing multiple defensive players say that same thing too, that they want Tom Brady to hang it up, and it doesn't look like that's gonna happen in the foreseeable future. So they better get to work and get better.
They better, they better draft somebody. Hit the weights, man. So some Patriots news for you guys. Apparently the rumors are that the Patriots' plan A is to bring back Jimmy Garoppolo. We don't know how they're going to do that because, Shanahan's plan is to have Jimmy Garoppolo be his starter, with potentially bringing somebody in, through the draft. So I don't know how they're going to swing that, but that's the Patriots' plan A, and not Alex Smith. So Jimmy Garoppolo. All right. We'll see if that happens.
Does that excite you guys? I love the look on your face. John, that look was priceless.
I like Jimmy G. I like him. I think that.
Oh man, that look.
I think we talked about it last podcast or either 2 podcasts ago.
Right, two podcasts ago.
And I said, his familiarity with the system and
it's all great.
Bill Belichick drafting him. I'll welcome him here. For sure.
Listen, we get this right. I like Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't like Jimmy Garoppolo's health.
Yeah.
Right, and I don't want to see Jared Stidham out here in Game 6 because freaking Jimmy Garoppolo broke another collarbone. You know what I mean, from getting a tackle. I don't know. That's the only thing I don't like. Other than that, it's a good plan. The guy hasn't proven he can stay healthy for a full year, except for 1 year. So and he didn't even stay healthy that full year. I think he missed a few games that year too. So I don't know, man. If that's their plan, let's brace ourselves to next year. We'll see how that happens.
Well, that is the plan. That is the best case scenario, like I've said on
I think their best case scenario.
I mean, who else are they gonna really go after, and what better option do they have at this point? Because now the quarterback market is starting to dry up, as we've seen these guys getting signed and and staying with their teams or going to different teams. So I mean, that's
I'll
the
tell you
best
how.
available option.
I'll tell you how, because it's been reported that Stephon Gilmore is in trade talks between the Browns and the Patriots, right? And one can only imagine that what they get for Stephon Gilmore could be packaged to make a move in the draft and hopefully, get a quarterback in the draft. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to start building fast. So I'm not worried about Jimmy Garoppolo. We need to do something to get some young bodies in here, some young warm bodies in here to do some things. That's what I'm looking for.
But
don't
you want them to also bring a veteran as well? I want them to draft a guy
Yes,
too, but I
do.
also want to see a veteran as well.
Yes, I do. We traded Jimmy Garoppolo for a second-round pick. I'm not going to trade Jimmy Garoppolo for a first-round pick for Jimmy Garoppolo.
Hell no.
You know what I'm saying? Exactly.
Like,
and
what the hell would they do that for?
Because we're a quarterback needy team, they're gonna ask for the kitchen sink. They're gonna throw the kitchen sink at us. You know what I mean? And I'm not gonna waste a first round pick on Jimmy Garoppolo. I'm not even wasting a second round pick. You know what I mean?
I might give him the second. I might do that.
Listen, he's coming off an injury. He's coming off the
second though.
He's coming off an injury. You're getting a fourth round pick and Jared Stidham. Here you go.
Fourth round pick and Jared Stidham.
That's it.
Who's gonna do that?
That's all you get. That's all you get.
They're getting.
That's all you get.
Yeah, that's a good one, John. Fourth round pick and Jared Stidham, man. I don't know who's doing that deal, bro.
Listen,
you're trying to be the Danny Ainge of the NFL, freaking just rob teams and hijack them, man.
Hey, listen. Bill Belichick brought in Randy Moss in here for dirt cheap, all right, and he broke the receiving record. So I believe he can swing some stuff now. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens.
He gets back on his shit. Bill Belichick, the GM, needs to be on his shit this offseason. So hopefully he gets back on it and and starts making moves and putting in work.
Yeah, man. That's going to be it for the NFL and the Patriots news right now. The other question was, should the Patriots sign Alex Smith? And I think we all know what the answer to that is, right? Should we all say it at one time? On 3, 1, 2, 3?
No.
Like, that's it. You know what I mean? Moving on to the MLB, where the Red Sox are in spring training. So they played, I believe, on Sunday. They lost on Sunday. So it hasn't been like the best spring training for the Red Sox, but we knew that already. They don't have a team. They don't have anybody. They
got a few guys, but most of the team, it is trash.
It's trash, man. And they've lost. They're even losing players. Because Jackie Bradley Jr. He's leaving the Red Sox to sign with the Milwaukee Brewers for a 2-year, $24 million deal. So that's cool. Red Sox signed Danny Santana to a minor league deal. And, lastly, that's a big news for the MLB. The Yankees manager, Aaron Boone, he's actually on leave of absence right now due to some health concerns. So whatever's happening with him, hopefully, he takes care of himself and comes back strong, man.
Yeah, I think he needs to get a pacemaker. So,
right.
That's why he ended up leaving. So, definitely get well soon and best of luck to to Aaron Boone. I know that's tough, that he's had to leave because of that, but hopefully he gets better quickly.
Yeah, for sure, man. And that's really it for our MLB coverage because we're not in the season yet. So once the season gets here, we'll be able to delve into some games and update you guys on some stuff. So let's move to the NHL. We got the Bruins. Between this podcast and last podcast, they played 3 times. They played against the Capitals, Washington Capitals twice. They lost the first game 2-1, and then they won the second game 5-1. They also played the Devils on the 7th, and they lost 1-0. Right, Alex Ovechkin he was fined $5,000 for spearing. Is that right, Barry?
Yeah, he did get fined for that. So he ended up hitting a Bruins player pretty much right in the nuts where the sun doesn't shine, hit it with the stick, which was very illegal and very dirty. So he should have even got fined more, or I think even suspended. So I think just because it's Ovechkin, he's a big name and one of the superstars in the NHL, they didn't fine him as much. But unfortunately, they
I feel like
towards that. I don't agree like with the punishment.
Do they hand out big fines in the NHL? I feel like they don't hand out like huge fines like that because the players are not making that much money like that.
They don't, but this one should have definitely gotten a bigger fine. Now you can't spear and take your stick and put it right in someone's groin, intentionally.
Oh, we fighting
and only get fined $500K for it. Like you've got to.
Wait, it was $500K or $5K?
You got to hit him where it hurts and hit those pockets.
Wait, Barry, you say $500K or it's $5K?
$5K, right? That's
okay.
What I meant.
All right. You threw me off there. I'm like 500. That's a lot.
Yeah. My fault. I misspoke on that. So that's 5K, not 5. I added a couple of more zeros that I shouldn't have added. So I take that back.
So you're saying at least 20?
Yes, it should have been at least to 20K that he should have gone fine.
You can't mess with a man's jewels like that. That's not okay.
Exactly. You don't do that to another grown man. Exactly.
Yep. The NHL also suspended Tom Wilson of the Capitals for 7 games because of a head hit on Brandon Carlo. So these guys been trying to hurt people out there. You know what I mean?
And that's why now a lot of people, myself and pretty draw Bruins fans, can't stand the Washington Capitals and want to whoop their ass every time we play them from now on. Because the Ovechkin thing was dirty, but I don't know if y'all seen this hit that Tom Wilson had on Brendan Carlo. That was extremely dirty. Like that shouldn't
That's not
happen
okay.
in the NHL, hitting a guy right in the head on the boards and like he targeted him too. You could tell that he was going after him and wanted to hit him in the head. That shouldn't happen at all in any sport. I know NHL's physical and has a lot of hits and violence, but
that's not okay.
Stuff like that, you know what I'm saying, shouldn't fly. And I'm glad that he got suspended the 7 games, that the NHL gave him because he deserves every single game of that suspension. I even thought it was going to be 10, but I'm okay with 7-game suspension because he has a past of doing that too. So
okay, I see what you're saying. Okay,
so that's why the suspension was as high because he's done things like that before.
And lastly, for the Bruins, David Pastrnak, he was the NHL Star of the Month.
That's correct.
He was named Star of the Month, and the guy do you say he could ball or he could puck? Like the guy,
he could skate.
Okay. Listen,
what is the term, Vlad?
He could skate.
Skate, right.
Would that be better?
I think that
In hockey terms, that would probably be the
I think
right
that sounds
hockey
like the most
terminology.
accurate I've heard.
I want to say he could puck, like,
Nah.
or he could snipe.
he could. He's a good sniper for sure.
Yeah, because he's a good goal scorer.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah,
He
so
definitely
I've heard
sniping.
that. Right. Oh, yeah, absolutely. He is sniping for sure. I like that one, sniping than skating. So yeah,
Right.
no, the guy's been playing great and deserved that award. Ever since he's come back after missing the beginning of the season, it's been a completely new different team and better Bruins team when he's on the ice. So definitely,
No, that's good for
shout
him, man.
out to David Pastrnak. He's been doing his thing, and hopefully he keeps that up because his team's gonna need it.
Yeah, man. He could puck. Probably not a good name. People probably run away with that, right? Oh, he could puck.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on from that.
Doesn't sound good. He can snipe.
Yeah. No, yeah, he could snipe. That's John being dirty. Vlad, it's been a few weeks since we've had a soccer update. You're the soccer guy. Can you let us know what's happening with those and why we haven't been, getting updates?
Well, it's there's been a lot going on. I guess it's been harder for me to pick what to share and what people really want to hear.
Mm-hmm.
The MLS is not really going on right now, so there's not really too much update on the local sports. But as far as international, there's all the leagues are happening, and there's a lot going on in that. I'm just not sure what, like, I'm trying to figure out exactly what's worth sharing and what's not worth sharing.
We need to do a poll, on our social media to see what people want to hear.
Yeah, but as far as
we should absolutely.
As far as the top leagues goes, I would say this weekend we had the Manchester Derby where Manchester City played versus Manchester United. Manchester United beat Manchester City 2-0. We had the Bundesliga derby between Bayern Munich and Borussia Dortmund, and that game was tied 2-2. In La Liga, we had Real Madrid versus Atletico Madrid, and that was a tie as well. That was a 1-1 game. Those were three really big games this weekend that everybody was paying attention to. Those were, all 6 teams were rivals, big rivals in their own country, and I would say that's the big update from this past week.
Yeah, no, I love getting updates about teams I have no idea how to pronounce their names. So that's.
Yeah, but I wanted to ask you a quick question. So I heard, isn't the MLS coming back soon? When's the MLS coming back?
I think they start I think either end of March or beginning of April or something. Maybe next week I'll try to give you guys a better update on that.
Yeah, for sure. Sounds good.
Yeah.
For sure, man. And thank you, Vlad. I appreciate that. No, I actually miss hearing those names I don't know anything about. So that's cool.
Right, me too.
And now, we're going to end the show, as always, with, one of our biggest segments, which is the Be Money Lifestyle Person of the week. And I know there's a big person on this week. So, since it's National Women's Month, who you got for us?
Yeah, so we do have a woman that I'd like to give this award to this week, particularly it being, International Women's Day and Women's History Month. This woman certainly accomplished a pretty big, feat that hasn't been accomplished before in the NFL, and that woman is Malaya Shaka. Yeah, Malaya Shaka.
Maya Chaka.
It's Maya Shaka. Oh, I
Yes.
thought that was an L. My fault. That's my bad. Good
Maya
looking
Chaka.
out. Maya Shaka. Gotcha. So what? Why she's the B Money Lifestyle Person of the Week was she ended up being the first Black woman official to be hired by the NFL. So that was announced this week, by the NFL, welcoming her to the NFL officiating crew. So she's going to be officiating games starting next season. That's starting the 21 season in September. So she had said, "I'm honored to be selected as an NFL official, but this moment is bigger than a personal accomplishment. It is an accomplishment for all women, my community, and my culture." So that was a quote from Maya Shaka, who, and you also said, it didn't really hit me until just now when I saw the introduction. I'm like, this is really real, because this is just something that we're just always taught to work hard for. Sometimes we just don't take time to stop and smell our own roses. So that's a pretty cool quote by her, right there. It's certainly a big, honor that she was, got this week. And, to that. And we just recently had our first female official in Sarah Thomas officiate the Super Bowl. And now to have this, follow up with that is, certainly it's a great, it's great direction that the NFL is heading towards in hiring more female officials, and bring more women into the league. So I'm glad that they're starting to do that and head towards that trend, because they certainly do deserve it. And there's certainly women that are qualified to be able to work, in the NFL and have positions in the league. So definitely shout out to Maya Shaka on being this week's B Money Lifestyle Person of the Week. And that's definitely that B Money Lifestyle.
Yes, sir. And there you have it, folks. Maya Chaka, the first African-American ref and a female. And it was announced on International Women's Month. So,
Women's Day. It's International Women's Day.
No, it was announced a couple of days ago.
Oh, yeah, a couple of days. Right. But today's International Women's Day. Yeah,
right. But she made it on International Women's Day. So, shout outs to her. And again, please, if you're still watching, thank you so much for doing so. Please don't forget to subscribe, hit that button, hit that bell notification too as well. Hate, comment, subscribe, all in that sequence. So until episode 52, it's been real. Peace out.
Have a good week, everyone. See you next week. Happy International Women's Day to all the ladies out there.